Oh, don't worry, guys. There's going to be no long-term consequences to decriminalizing marijuana. Everybody should just be allowed to do whatever they want. And of course, yeah, you just go about living your life accordingly. But you should also be made well aware of the different consequences that are going to be out there. And this will affect different nations that are around there, okay? Like up here in Canada since about 2015 or 2016, whatever it was. Canada Day 15 or 16. Can't quite remember when it went into full legalization form and marijuana was around on every street corner. Now you can't go by any strip mall that is anywhere in this city and you can't find a legal pot shop. The only thing that you won't find though is anybody still going to those legal pot shops that are out there. Everybody still uses their dealer because there's just way too many taxes, way too much overhead. They price themselves out of the game, but that's right. It's all fine and it's legal, therefore it's good. What happened to, pot smokers being rebellious and against what the will of the government was? Whatever, regardless. I have my positions against it. I think all of this stuff is haram. If I was in control of the world, I would have all vice summarily snapped out of existence, but I'm not in control of everything, nor will I ever be. And realistically, if I had the power, you can go ahead and do whatever you want. I don't really care when it comes to this stuff. I just don't like to smell pot when I'm outside. Every morning when I go for a run, I cannot complete my run, which is longer than most people would be going on, but still, I cannot go one day without smelling pot outside. This first thing in the morning. So these people are addicts, okay? You wake up in the wake and bake. What are you, 14 years old? Stupid. But now, because a whole host of new states have legalized access to marijuana, and thanks to there being no socialized healthcare, I'd have to look a little bit deeper, and it's something that I don't really like to think about all that time because I wouldn't deal with anybody. I was friends with pot smokers way back when I was in school, but then after that, I just realized that those are the type of people that don't really contribute all that much to society. It's my choice to choose my friends. When it comes to family members and anybody who smokes pot, I don't like to associate with because I just find them to be generally unmotivated people. Oh, but Joe Rogan's the exception. Think of your average pothead. Yeah, exactly. That's who it is. You can always point to the outliers, but that doesn't disprove the generalities that are out there. But yeah, like I'm saying, okay, in the United States, no socialized medicine, okay, all of the aftermath of this stuff, your taxpayer dollars aren't going to fund any of their later in life health concerns. But, oh no, it's fine. My doctor recommends it. It's for my glaucoma and for my pain. Well, now we're getting the studies that are out there because, yeah, it was just your wacky uncle, okay, or just those people that live in the sticks on the outside of town that smoke a copious amount of pot. But now, because it's, it's become more of a lifestyle, which is just so stupid, it begs the question, what kind of a vacuous human being could you possibly be if you make a vice your entire existence? But to each their own, I guess. Smoking marijuana, more harmful to lungs than cigarettes. Wow, imagine that. A recent study suggests that smoking marijuana might cause more harm to the lungs than smoking tobacco. A Canadian study, where I would at least have a stronger rational point into saying that I'm not for the legalization of marijuana, mostly because there are repercussions that my tax dollars are going to end up funding. Somebody wants to do something stupid with their life in the United States, your decision, your bill. But now here in Canada, oh my God, if somebody wants to balloon themselves up to 600 pounds and take up multiple beds in the emergency room when they eventually have a heart attack, I got to pay the bill for that. Not all of it. Some of it, depending on how hard I work and how much tax dollars, I might end up being paying for all of it. But if somebody ends up ingesting a copious amount of tar through I just want to chill, bro. It's all about relaxing, dude. I only do it on the weekends, pal. Now what, I got to pay for the scraper to get all of that black stuff out of your lungs? Come on now. But yes, the study was published in mid-November in a peer-reviewed journal, Radiology. Researchers looked at CT examinations that were taken between October 2005 and July 2020 at the Ottawa Hospital and its affiliate hospitals to investigate the effects of smoking marijuana on the lungs. The researchers grouped chest CT examinations according to marijuana smokers, tobacco-only smokers, and non-smokers. The study suggests the distinct radiologic findings in the lungs may be seen in marijuana smokers, including high rates of paraseptal emphysema and airway inflammation changes when compared to non-smoker control patients and those who only smoke tobacco. Wow, so doing a direct comparison between people who just smoke cigarettes. So greater chance of, well, realistically, respiratory system problems. As it pertains to lung cancer or something, you'll just have to, smoke a blunt in order to really cover both bases there. Study found higher rates of emphysema among marijuana smokers, 42 out of 56, 75%, than non-smokers, 3 out of 57, 5%. Emphysema is a serious lung disease caused in most cases by smoking damage, leading to shortness of breath. Emphysema was found more common among marijuana smokers, 28 out of 30. That's pretty common. 93%, who were 50 and older than the tobacco-only smokers, 22 out of 30. That is very interesting. Okay, so I guess there is something to those filters. Weird. In the age-matched groups, the tobacco smokers were older, so the research created age-matched subgroups. Okay, so that would lead to the 67% of the time, 2/3 of the time you'll get emphysema if you only smoke tobacco, whereas it's just about a statistical certainty that you're going to get it with pot. Interesting, but it's safe and effective, bro. Where have we heard that before? Researchers included tobacco smokers 50 and older who smoked 1 pack a day for 25 years at a minimum. Marijuana smokers, the average quantity they smoked was 0.065 ounces, 1.8 grams per day, or 1.85 grams, sorry. I have no idea what that means. I know what a pack a day is. That's pretty common for some dedicated smokers, but yeah, I don't know what that means for pot, okay? Like, I hung out with potheads. Outside of that, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know anything about that. Subtype of emphysema called paraseptal emphysema, which affects the outermost parts of the lung, was found to be more common among marijuana smokers than tobacco-only smokers, regardless of their age. Very interesting. Markers of airway inflammation were found higher in marijuana smoker groups versus non-smokers and tobacco-only smokers. For marijuana smokers compared to non-smokers, the rate of airway inflammation were bronchial thickening, 64% versus 11%, bronchiectasis, 23 to 4, and mucoid impaction, 46 to 2%. Holy! Bronchiectasis, I'm saying that wrong, but whatever, is a condition where the lung airways become widened, leading to a buildup of mucus that may make the lungs vulnerable to infection. That's not good, especially considering it's like, think what you will about the previous 2 years, but anybody who had a respiratory condition, they were considered at a higher risk of complications. That seems to have something to do with it. Mucoid impaction is a condition where the airways become filled with mucus. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? Marijuana smokers versus tobacco smokers. The rate of airway inflammation were bronchial thickening. So marijuana first, 64% versus tobacco smokers, 42%. Bronchiectasis, 23 to 6. Wow. And mucoid impaction, 46 to 15%. Holy. Analysis of the age-matched subgroups showed an even more significant difference between the rates of bronchial thickening, 83 to 42, bronchiectasis, 33 to 6, and mucoid impaction, 67 to 15. Marijuana smokers compared to tobacco smokers. Yeah, it's really not good. Those aren't flattering numbers. Researchers also looked into non-lung related parameters, one of which was gynecomastia, a condition that causes enlarged breast tissues in boys and men. How did you come up with that? Okay, it found more significantly more common among marijuana smokers, 13 and 34, 38%, than non-smokers. You could also, well, obviously munchies, that's going to be the first thing that comes to anybody's mind, and that's what would happen, okay? You're fat and you get little, boy titties, the fat guy tits, okay? Because what does a marijuana consumption elicit? Okay, you're lethargic, you snack more, you don't accomplish as much, and ergo, you're just become lazy and fat. As opposed to smoking cigarettes, like you're not moving around a lot, but it's also curbing any appetite. I'm not trying to sell cigarettes, Jesus. This segment isn't sponsored by Marlboro or anything like that. I'm just telling you, there is no benefit. I do not see, for a healthy, able-bodied individual, I don't see any benefit to smoking pot, okay? Obviously, it's a contentious issue because everybody wants their little vice that's out there. I'm just telling you, that's not the way that I live my life, and that's not anything that I would promote ever. Researchers also noted a small sample size in the study limited their ability to draw strong conclusions. They also noted that most of the marijuana smokers also smoke tobacco. 50 out of 56 said that the participants' other health conditions were not accounted for. Studies come as more states are legalizing the drug. Yeah, exactly. This is just the tip of the spear, though. And the fact that they're finding out this, okay, and just the straight one-to-one comparisons, it's like, okay, pot smokers, their lungs are reacting worse to the consumption of pot compared directly to cigarette smokers. You already know how bad cigarettes are, and don't need to go over that. And just recently, last week or a week before, talked about how transitioning off smoking is probably something that you could consider if you are partaking by involving e-cigarettes and vapes, because there seems to be less of a problem associated with that. But if you're a devout pot smoker, even if you're somebody who's like, yeah, this is kind of a little bit sus, maybe I should give this stuff up, do consider that as well, because I'd like anybody who listens to this message to live a very long, very happy, very healthy life. And marijuana, man, that's not included, at least in my purview. Your mileage may vary, of course. I'm not telling you to do anything that you don't want to do for yourself. I'm just offering you the information and the ideas to make your own informed choice. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.